Hello Bits and Bones, my name is SlaideyV and welcome to my channel. If you're still waiting for my video on the horror anthology We're Not Home, I'm taking a little bit longer on this one because I've started a project that I want to do for all anthologies in the future that I think will be really fun. What'll be speedrunning during the duration of this video will be the start of the process for the making of the fun little project that I want to do. And if you can figure out what I'm doing, please comment below and I'll let you know if you're right. So, in my video discussing the instability that came with having a part-time job for a corporation that valued workers' flexibility over their skill or personal circumstance, I said I'd continue on into a discussion about the I don't dream of labor movement because that just felt right. I was leaving my job and running off to pursue my passions in a more stable environment across the country during what's now considered the Great Resignation or the Big Quit, where hundreds of thousands of other people spurred into action by COVID-19 were reevaluating their worth and willingly leaving their jobs for something else. Then came the I don't dream of labor trend on YouTube, where creators talked about how they don't fit the mold of a 9 to 5. At first, I thought I'd have a lot to say about it. Out of the handful of creators that are often pointed towards as starting the I don't dream of labor discussion, my initial reaction to their content was mild contempt. It felt privileged hearing these beautiful women already successful on social media talk about how they had no desire to work a regular job, that it doesn't bring them fulfillment, and that we should all strive for more meaning in our lives than that, like the rest of us have a choice. As with most things, it made me bitter, despite the fact the leaders that sparked the trend weren't blindly telling people to quit their jobs or pretending like they had solutions to the shape of the job economy. And I found myself wanting to hate the trend because I'm what you would call a worker. I've always been a good employee, which in most cases gets me taken advantage of, and not just by the employers, but other employees too. If they know that I'll put in twice the effort to cover them being lazy, I've literally had coworkers sit back and watch me mop a floor for them rather than help so that we can both end our shift. Call me a pushover, but being busy and working fast, exhausting jobs has always brought me a sense of fulfillment at the end of the day, and I'm very opposite to those in the Big Quit because I'm sad that I left my job. I loved my job. It kept me busy, structured my week, got me out of the house, and kept me motivated when I'd be in a slump. It was arguably the best job that I'd ever had. And I left my job not because I wanted to, but because I had to. In the time where we've all been reevaluating our lives after the pandemic, it became clear to me that some things needed to change, like being closer to my aging parents and constantly losing just about all my earnings to rent if I ever wanted to own a house. That and the unstable part-time hours are the only reasons that I left. I do dream of labor, I just couldn't keep my livelihood in the hands of disconnected business owners. So in the end, as someone pushed into leaving work I enjoy for personal circumstances, a part of me wanted to nag about how privileged everyone hopping on the I don't dream of labor trend are, not just because they left their job, but because they could. If I wasn't moving to a family residence with side work already available, I wouldn't be stable and I wouldn't have left. This is not a whim or a feeling like I deserved better, so I just was gonna go do it. Which is kind of a double down on saltiness against the I don't have a dream job discussion, because I not only dream of labor, but I do have a dream job. I've been putting my passions and hobbies secondhand to my jobs and relationships my whole life. I went to university and graduated with a degree for English Studies and Fine Arts and was never lucky enough to be in a position in my life that I could genuinely pursue them because they wouldn't be as profitable as just working a 9 to 5. Until now. Until fucking now. And sitting around listening to people talk about things they don't want to do with no real goal in mind, while I've had a vision that I couldn't even attempt, felt disenfranchising. But after looking at my situation and comparing it to the I don't dream of labor trend, I realized this is just the same shit, different trend. Like the entrepreneur video saying anyone can be their own boss while telling you literally nothing about how to do so other than to do something in whatever your own niche is. Of course, you can find privilege in all these videos, and I have a huge pet peeve of people saying that they want to add value to people's lives with no actual value in mind. You can support yourself, you just have to give value to others. Like, we all have some amazing, untapped, unique value within ourselves that is apart from and better than fulfillment in any general labor job. But At the core of it, these people are not wrong to expect more from life than labor work until they die. They're not wrong to want more. It's not their fault that I'm bitter because I've been trapped so I couldn't pursue my passions. And it's good that we're talking about the flaws in our capitalistic work mentality, even if there's no solution at hand already. Discussion is good, it's always good, and that's what we should be focusing on. As Lena Norms puts it, it's fucked up that we're 3D beings plopped into a world that has no space for us to exist without paying. From the second that we were born, we're forced to earn money for our right to live. So, as salty as I've been watching people speculate over whether they do or do not want to work, I'm done. I might not be part of the trend, but I don't need to vehemently oppose it or rip it apart. I just need to focus on what I'm doing. I do dream of labor, and I'm going to create that for myself, and that's the world that I'd like to see all of us living in. To conclude on positivity towards the I Don't Dream of Labor movement, I really liked Amanda Mayana's video on the trend because she's the most reasonable discussion I've seen. She says she doesn't have a dream job, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't plan to work. It's that any work is fine, so long as it brings her money for fulfillment in other aspects of her life. And that's the ratio that I'm trying to hit here also. P.S. Also check out her video because I fully endorse her discussion of the craftsman mindset. That means progressing a skill in yourself regardless of the end goal should be fulfilling, and I love that. I'd also check out Jo Ray's video because she helped me understand that I was in what she described from Pedagogy of the Oppressed's mentality, where my immediate visceral reaction to the I Don't Dream of Labor movement did feel like a gotcha moment, and I did want to believe that people are just lazy and don't want to work, just because I've already given so much to a system that's not right for me, isn't right for presumably either of us, me or the others responding to the trend. And that helped me understand that it's not always about picking sides, and in this break that I'm taking, I would like to build up my faith in others to make decisions, which after the pandemic, a lot of us retail workers are surely lacking right now. Instead of focusing on those that seem to have too much privilege to get an opinion that are at the forefront in the posters for the movement, we should really be looking at the others, the ones where jobs are ruining their lives and hells and they can barely maintain living standards no matter how hard they work. I'd say that the system is broken, not the trend that's talking about it, because the work expectations for humanity is just really poor right now, whether you're lower or middle class or what have you. Now, for the time being, it's winter, and I'm picking up small labor jobs while I sort out and give myself time to put these passions of mine into gear so that I can stop being a bitter Betsy, not having the opportunity to do what those stupid influencers say, and provide value in the way that I already know that I can. I'm excited and extremely nervous because being in the job economy as I was, even knowing I'm allowed this time and that I'm stable, I still feel really anxious. I still feel like the time I'm putting into these projects that might pay off later is too risky, and like I'm wasting money every hour I'm not plugging away in a job somewhere for some corporation. Wrestling that anxiety is hard, but that's the first step. So I guess regardless of how I'm going to balance physical work and my writing and art, I guess that this is it. This is my I quit my job to become a writer video. This is the start of the journey, and I've got no room left to be jealous of the opportunities that other people have had over me in pursuing this field because I made them for myself now. I'm in it, and I can't wait to share my journey with you as I go. I'm not what you would call a glamour channel. I'm not perfect or very optimistic, really. So I hope this channel grows to be an accurate reflection of my pursuit of passion. I hope that it can be more helpful of a scale to relate to for others trying to work or quit working to become a creator. My dream would be to own some kind of LLC, publish anthologies and art prints, and just tell stories however I can, but we'll just have to see how that actually manifests itself over time. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about the Great Resignation, the I Don't Dream of Labor movement, anything really. Are you pursuing your passion, balancing life, or even on hiatus? This video didn't have much of a purpose than to talk about how these trends might feel harmful in their generalized ideals and optimism, but I wanted to muddy the lines a bit. As downtrodden as I've felt by work or the hustle of sustaining quality of life, I can see the merit in the discussion these trends promote, and I want to see others feel that way too. As always, thanks for watching. If you want to support me on my new journey, my Patreon is linked in the description below. I just updated some of my goals and there's new tier rewards, so check it out. If you're interested in reading horror short stories and donating to charity, the We're Not Home anthology is also linked in the description below, where you can read my short story Last Road Trip. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Bye.